Well, Dave, you probably couldn't have asked for a bigger challenge for your first game in charge, but your players certainly stood up to that test today. What was your assessment of the performance?
I thought they were fantastic. I think it was always going to be difficult, and today, for me, it was about seeing what the players were about in really testing circumstances, a really testing environment up against adversity, and they showed the characteristics required to be successful in absolute spades. To go in front was great. Obviously, then concede 2 sloppy goals from our perspective in 3 minutes, and you're behind. But the second goal we scored was a brilliant one. Second half, we've challenged them a little bit. I think we're going to play in a certain way, and I'm going to demand the players play in a certain way, and that's going to require them to get on the football and be brave on the football. I don't think in the first half certainly we were brave enough. Certainly the defenders. I thought second half they did that better, and that'll be a work in progress. And it gave us more control in the game. I felt more control than what I did in the first half. But brilliant to get a replay. Everyone can look now in anticipation of the draw on Monday, and when the game comes around a week on Tuesday, we can really look forward to it.
You have only had a few days of training with the players so far, but when you look at the performance out there today, do you feel like you've already been able to start putting your own stamp on things?
No, I'm not going to take absolutely any credit for that. I think, like I say, we've tried to work a little bit off the ball. We want to press and we want to play on the front foot. We're not going to get a challenge in our league anywhere near like that. So if we can press and have impacts on a League One team that handle the ball really well and look to play between the lines and have really good rotations, then put that into our own division, then we have a real chance. We still have to add to it in terms of what we do on the ball, but some of the signs were really good. And as I said previously, if you look at the attacking players that we've got on the pitch, today probably doesn't show it as much because we've had to dig in today and we've spent a lot of time without the ball. But the moments we did have meant that we had 4 really good opportunities. We've taken 2 of them, and that's got us another bite at it, if you like, in 10 days.
Having played so well to get in front, it must have been frustrating to concede those 2 goals in a couple of minutes. But how pleased were you with the reaction from your players?
Yeah, it was a fantastic reaction. Like I say, in circumstances, it's easy to do things and be positive when things are going in your favour. The real test of people and of footballers, if you like, is in adversity, and there's no bigger adversity than being 1-0 up and no crowd in the game to 2-1 down in 3 or 4 minutes, and all of a sudden it's their supporters that are giving our lot a bit of stick. So great reaction. Even after the just after the goal, Paddy has the chance with the header to get us back in it. The goal we score is a brilliant goal, a really good goal. So we've got to take huge positives from that. Like I say, in terms of the traits they've shown within that game, forget the result, forget the performance technically and tactically. They showed the raw ingredients of what's required to be successful, and that's a huge positive.
Big call, obviously, to put Sam Minihan in today for his first appearance of the season after coming back from injury. How do you think he did today?
Yeah, like I say, big call. Had a chat. Sam's desperate to play. So when I spoke to Sam and asked him how long he'd got in him, I'm desperate to play. I'm desperate to play. He's naturally a fit lad, but he'll benefit for that. But we still need to be careful. We were almost in a position where we didn't have huge options. In saying that, I thought when Will came on and played there, he was outstanding. So that's again another massive positive to come out the game in terms of people being able to step into positions. I know he has played there before, but certainly not for Stockport, and none of the staff have seen him play there. So that was a huge positive. We've just got to make sure Sam reacts in the right way. Like I say, he'll be sore from that, but it will do him the world of good, and hopefully there's no ill effects, and we'll manage him, if you like, through the week, and he'll be available for next weekend for us.
Ben Whitfield coming off at half time, I think one of his last touches was sticking the ball in the back of the net. Was that because of an injury?
Yeah, he's a bit of a concern, to be fair, Ben. He's feeling a pain at the bottom of his foot, around his sort of plantar fascia, which we were going to try and get his boot back on and get him back out there. He couldn't, so we made the change, like I say, at half time, but he's now in real pain and struggling to walk. So we're going to have to get him x-rayed, and hopefully there's no damage. But that's probably the one negative to come out of the day. That is a concern in terms of him. We hope he's not too serious.
Back to Edgley Park now for a replay under the floodlights, probably close to a full house. Fancy your chances?
Listen, it'll be a great occasion when it comes round, but ultimately we've got a bigger game next weekend under the lights at Edgley Park on a Saturday evening against Bromley, and that's a bigger game than today wasn't. It's a bigger game than next Tuesday is. When the replay comes around, like I say, in terms of the players and the opportunity to play in front of a packed home ground, I'm sure they're looking forward to it. I'm sure they know after today's game that physically it's going to be a huge ask, but it has to give them huge confidence and reinforcement that they can go about the business in what we asked them to do and come away from here having or still being in the FA Cup, if you like.
Can't let you go without mentioning those Stockport County fans today. 5,000 of them in here today, and they just didn't stop the beat. Did it feel almost like a home game?
I'm not sure it felt like a home game because you're in a different environment in terms of stadium and things like that. But in terms of the atmosphere, it was unbelievable. Like I say, it was strange in the kick-off. I thought when we were doing the warm-up, I thought, oh, we'll just have that bottom tier there, and the top tier would be Bolton. In fact, it wasn't. We had the whole lot, and it was amazing. The noise they made is massive for the players. And again, we know that we get that support at home in terms of numbers. We have to use that as a positive. We've got to use that to our advantage, but we've got to give them something. We've got to keep them in the game, and I think the players did that today. And thankfully, we can send them lot home happy. They'll all have the anticipation of Monday and looking at the draw in terms of who we might get, and then we can, like I say, we can focus solely on Bromley and then trying to win a replay. Like I say, when we are back at Edgley, with a big, hopefully vocal crowd at our backs.
Hey, thanks for your time. Well done today.
Cheers, thank you.